Hi Wargamers, Dan, Deathbringer Kane here with part 3 of my little Kings of War vlog series. This time the next units I'm covering is some crossbowmen and a unit of chariots. For these parts I've got some Wargames Factory Celt Chariots and crossbowmen for Foot Sergeants from FireForge Games. So let's have a crack open of one of these first. We'll start with the Celt Chariots. Now you get 3 in this box, but one thing I really need to point out is this really made me chuckle a bit. But apparently we've got to cut all the prats off the sprues. Fantastic, guys. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Cutting those prats off. Okay, guys, back onto the sensible things now as I struggle to open a box that's already open. Now, there's one thing I do like about Wargames Factory is how the sprues come. They come with these little pegs, and they all slot into each other, so they don't tend to move around that much. So let's have a quick look at the sprues we've got now. So it looks like we've got 3 chariot sprues, 2 lots of horses sprues, a sprue with some shields and heads on with javelins, and we have what looks like a commandy type sprue. So let's have a closer look at the command sprue. If I zoom the camera in. Now, the detail on these things isn't overly great. They're a bit, well, it's probably sound a bit snobbery, but to be honest, I'm not really liking these guys so far. Some little straps there that I don't know what they're for. Oh, the slings, guys. And I'm not even showing you what I'm looking at. So we've got some slings, arms that can have slings, spare spears or javelins, which depends what you look at it. A horn of some kind, so if you want to make a musician, and lots of various arms to hold lots of various weapons. It's a nice touch that the weapons are they've got handles on that actually go in the actual hand as opposed to having an arm with a weapon attached. So that's quite interesting. So let's have a look at the chariot sprues, which also includes this, what I can't quite decide if this buxom lady is a figurehead or is actually meant to be crew. So it's interesting, I suppose, if you want to do a Bodicea or something like that. I know Bodicea wasn't the Celt, but you know what I mean. So there's the yoke for the horses and a sat reinsman or driver or whatever kind of guy crouched down. And an interesting selection of heads. If it focuses. There we go. Sorry about this, guys, my camera decided to not focus. There we go. Yeah, nice bow line right down to the centre of their face. A lot of moustaches here, handlebar moustaches. So we got a choice of chariot sides, which is always nice. Round sides or arches. Now, oh dear, I think that's supposed to be wood, guys, but not a great deal of grain there or detail on that. All in all, I'm not overly impressed with this set so far, but adequate to the task at hand. I think it's not terrible, but it's not anything fantastic to sing home about so far. Okay, let's see if they can redeem themselves with the horses now. They look reasonably alright. They're a bit scrawny, but then again, it's a chariot, I suppose. Back then, what the hell is that supposed to be? Oh dear, I think I might have to chop off these tails. It just looks like a blob on the end of on its backside. The horse's heads look passable, I suppose. Well, you never know, with a bit of coat of paint, it might be able to rescue them. So finally, let's have a look at the shield accessory sprue, which is actually looking quite nice. Some nice embossed details there. Nice bit of variation in shield types. And you've got some javelin arms, which could come in quite handy. Now I think I might actually replace the crew on these with some of the leftovers from my Viking regiments. So might just end up using the crew from that. Okay guys, let's bring in the Foot Sergeants. If we zoom out, some lovely artwork there. I'm really liking the look of that. Give grimness of the Crusades, and really nice box in here. You get 48 guys in here. Only 24 crossbows though, which is it's unfortunate for me. But if you're wanting to make a mix of guys, so let's have a quick look and see what we've got here. We've got like a lot of sprues which are repeated over and over again. Yeah, it would appear we've got the same sprue over and over again. So rather than look at one sprue several times, I think we'll just have a close look at one sprue. So we'll zoom in here to these heads. There we go. So that's some really nice heads there, some really nice head sculpts there, a lot of variation in the heads. Some interesting bodies. Now again, this is a pet peeve of mine. I don't know what it is with the historical models, with these moulded bases, because these models actually came with bases at some point, but I've actually taken them out of the box because I'm intending to use a regiment base. So I will be having to chop these off. But some nice variations in, is it surcoats or I've no idea what the actual type of armour is called, but it's like that thick padded armour. Some nice spare swords, which I don't think I'll be using because I'm too lazy. Some more different armour types or poses. Really nice. And here's the important bit for me. There's quite a few crossbows now. Because they only get 24 in, I've managed to save the sprues from the Templar Knights, which have the same kind of looking arms to me. They do have mail on, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. You've got some nice variation in hand weapons, some nice axes, maces, and is it a mace? Or is it a club? Who knows? Lots of spears if you want to make a banner. Again, I might be using one of the arms from the Templar Teutonic Knights, or the Templars on foot. Some variations in shields, which is always good. So let's have a quick look at the other side, guys, because I'm sure some nice plain shields for you to play around with. Again, to the other side of the spears, a crossbow without any arms attached, and lots of different crossbow poses there. Again, the other side of the weapons. Close up of the bodies. Let's zoom out slightly, that's heading down. There we go. All in all, a really nice set. Okay guys, I'm going to get off and build some of these now. And I'll be back in a second to show you some guys constructed. Alright, back in a second guys. Welcome back guys. We've managed to get some, all of the actual models assembled, well, Actually, that's a lie. I've assembled 2 of the chariots, not 3. So, without further ado, I thought I'd show you a few of the guys assembled. Get you nice and closer to show you some poses. Now, you did get 24 crossbows in the box, so I have actually managed to eke that out to 32 by adding the crossbows from the Templar infantry. This one in particular is actually from the Templar infantry because they've actually got the chainmail arms as opposed to the padded armour. I mean, I'm really quite liking these, nice but not budget poses. Really easy to go together. Only one downside I saw, or it's not really a sorrow, but it isn't to do with the sergeants. It's to do with the Templar infantry. It's how the sprue was laid out for the crossbows. Now, for the sergeants, the foot sergeants, it was in a sensible manner, you know, with the matching arm, because obviously you get 2 arms, and one has a crossbow and one has the open palm for it to, you know, to aim or to hold it. And on the Templars, it wasn't arranged in a logical fashion. So you had like a load of crossbow arms and a load of open arms, and only one of the 2 went together. So I had quite a nice time having to match up the arms. All in all, I'm really happy with these guys. No idea how I'm going to paint them just yet. I'm sure it'll come to me. But plenty of scope to do. Show you last two guys, and then we'll get on to the chariots. There we go. Now, before we get into the chariots, I just thought I'd pop this guy into the frame. Little work in progress shot for you. It's going to be my army standard bearer. I think this guy was a Skulls reward from Games Workshop back in the day, quite some time ago. Still not finished obviously yet, but this guy's going to be my battle standard bearer. It's a bit of extra inspiring. Anyway, that's him just for now. Now on to the chariots. Now, the chariots themselves, I was so unimpressed with the actual guys you get in there, I've decided not to use them. Obviously, I'll put the wheels separately to make matters easier painting, but there's literally next to no wood grain on these pieces that are supposed to be wood, and it looks it's very bland detail. So I've actually added these shields from the Vikings, as you probably guessed now, that I'm actually going to be using some Viking herdmen from the Viking herdmen, as you probably guessed, as crew for each chariot. So I've got one with a Dane axe and guy throwing a javelin, even though they are supposed to be armed with bows, but unfortunately I didn't actually have any bows to hand, so just the other 2, guy with a spear thrusting, and another guy throwing a javelin or a spear or whatever it is. Now on to the biggest part of the problem I had with the chariots, the horses, which are absolutely tiny. Let's put a crossbowman next to. Oh, you need to zoom out, Dan. Too close, right? Yeah, that's the problem I had. Now, I have been speaking to some friends of mine who are saying that this is what these are ponies as opposed to horses. So I'm going to let that slide, the size of them. But another thing is it's the extreme lack of detail on them. I mean, this isn't my camera being blurry. This is actually detail on the tail. Now it's being blurry. Give me a second, guys. So you can see there's where it's supposed to be like a lot of hair, horse's hair. There's no detail. The detail of the head is very bland. Well, bland isn't the right word, but it's going to be very hard to pick out. So I don't think I'll be buying any more Wargames Factory products because I'm just not impressed with these. I might, well, somebody said that I might have to buy one more box to make use of the last chariot, because I'm not quite that kind of person who's going to run one chariot as a regiment. But I might find another one to put alongside it. So I'm going to get on and paint these now. Sort of mentioned I'm putting the crossbows on troops, so I'm going to put about 8 guys to a base, so these bases are almost finished for the troops, way ahead of the actual guys before they're actually ready to go on them. And I've got a nice regiment size base for the chariots, which obviously I haven't started with that one. But so on to the painting, guys. And for me it'll be quite a while, but for you it will be almost instantaneous. Alright guys, see you in a bit. Welcome back, Wargamers. After that mammoth task of getting this lot painted and based, I'm finally done. So I'll give you a quick overview of the models. The chariots aren't as bad as I thought they were. The horses still are lacking detail. It's not the detail isn't there. It's just very rounded and not very defined, not very crisp. But I think I did the best I could with them. They are actually looking a bit shiny at the moment, so I might have to hit them with a bit of a matte varnish to tone that down. But the crew work quite well on the chariots. Those Vikings look quite at home there. Perhaps with this huge gap in between them, perhaps I should have done 3, but there's still room there. Could always at some point paint another one up and stick it in between them, but I'm going to be in no rush to doing that. Anyway, on to the men-at-arms, or crossbows, as they've been known now. Those of you who have seen the Facebook page will have probably seen these some shots of these guys already, and the very fact that I designed them to go together for either 2 regiments or a single horde, which I think looks quite nice. Well, what more is to say? Onwards and upwards with the vlog. We will be showing. Will be later in the video. There'll be some the rotating model showcase thing, and some stills after that as well. If that interests you. If not, I won't be offended if you skip to the end here. Anyway, looks to come next. I think I'll be looking at some foot knights from the Perrys, which is this lot. Now these guys are going to be playing the part of foot guard, but not foot guard as you previously saw in my last video, which was these fellas. These are going to be foot guard with 2-handed weapons for their crushing strength bonus. So, and what else can we go in that one? Because obviously I like to do 2 units at a time. And you probably guessed, well, what this says. It's going to be mounted sergeants for some more agile cavalry. Not quite as hard hitting as the knights, but nimble will come in useful for some faster cavalry. Anyway, guys, on to the showcase. If you can hit that like button, I'd really appreciate it. It really helps the channel out. If you've got any comments, drop them below. Anything you think I could do better, or any other suggestions, yeah, feel free to leave them below. Alright, and thanks for watching, guys, and on to the showcase. you.